A cold-blooded killer is on the loose. His name is Gustave. He's 20 feet long or 6 meters, weighs 2,000 pounds or 907 kilograms, and stands accused of devouring hundreds of people. Gustave, the largest, most fabled crocodile in all of Africa, a demonic Loch Ness monster of incredible proportions and, according to legend, appetite. People in Africa face all sorts of horrors. Sometimes you can't help but think that in more remote areas far from civilization, it's impossible to leave your home without encountering a lion, a crocodile, or at worst, a black mamba. But the people of Burundi are doubly unlucky. In their already troubled country, a creature straight out of human nightmares has taken residence. And if you still don't believe in demons, here's proof of their existence. The most famous man-eating crocodile, Gustave, a huge male, lives in the shallow northern part of Lake Tanganyika. He mostly resides in Burundi's territory, but whenever another hunting expedition is sent after him, he relocates to Tanzania or Congo Zaire. Luckily, Burundi being a small country and the border is always nearby. For several decades now, he has successfully avoided numerous traps and developed a habit of teasing hunters before sneaking up on them and killing them. Local residents fear him to such an extent that, according to rumors, they offer him human sacrifices and pray to him. They claim that Gustave has killed over 300 people and often exterminates humans just for entertainment, leaving the bodies untouched. From one source to another, the number of lives taken by Gustave the man-eating crocodile varies significantly. Usually it's said to be around 300 victims, but authoritative publications like National Geographic tactfully phrase it as several hundred. This is understandable because obtaining an objective number is practically impossible. Furthermore, the search for Gustave by global researchers has often been hindered, for example, by the animal's movements, and local residents are not particularly keen on seeking out a mythical creature with a less than stellar reputation, especially one that bullets literally bounce off of. Additionally, it's human nature to exaggerate. Fear magnifies things. However, Gustave's fame not only as a man-eater, but also as the largest crocodile in the world seems to be well-founded. Of course, it's impossible to measure all living crocodiles, and the internet is filled with various, mostly fake reports of yet another giant being found. Nevertheless, the length of the largest crocodile officially recorded in the Guinness World Records is 6.17 meters. This crocodile, a saltwater crocodile nicknamed Lolong, was captured in the Philippines on September 3, 2011, precisely because of its attacks on humans.
But this beast isn't giving up without a fight.
After spending 1.5 years in the Bunawan Eco Park and Research Center, Lolong passed away on February 10, 2013. Naturalist Patrice Fay, who has been tracking Gustave since 1998 and gave the man-eating crocodile its name, estimates the length of the Burundi devil to be 20 feet, which is approximately 6.1 meters. As is known, reptiles continue to grow throughout their lives. Therefore, thanks to his age, approximately 65 years, Gustave is several times larger than his average peers. As he reaches enormous sizes, the crocodile must change his diet because his usual food, such as fish or antelopes, no longer satisfies him. They are too small for him and he is too cumbersome for them. So, he moves on to another section of the menu, which includes, for example, hippo calves and humans. There is, however, another viewpoint on this matter. Gustave might have switched to feeding on humans due to intense local conflicts in Burundi with a large number of victims, whose bodies were subsequently dumped into the river. In other words, he got used to human flesh, and due to his size, he could afford to procure it even after the end of the conflicts. Of course, local residents have attempted to kill Gustave more than once, as evidenced by the scars and bullet traces on the giant's body. But legally, this is generally prohibited, as he is a representative of a protected species. Therefore, no centralized government assistance was provided. Thus, we're in a vicious circle. The crocodile reached gigantic proportions, switched to feeding on humans, but nothing can be done about it, so the crocodile grows even larger along with his needs. Gustave's needs can be vividly described with figures from Patrice Fay's report. He can consume 10 to 15 people. In one of his raids, the crocodile managed to devour 17 people, whose remains were found along Lake Tanganyika. It must be said that researchers didn't just sit idly by, watching as the giant systematically decimated the local population. Attempts were made to capture Gustave. The most well-known case occurred in 2002 with a team led by the famous French naturalist Patrice Fay. He and his team tried to at least lure Gustave to capture the giant on camera. For a long time, the reptile didn't react to human activity, so on the last day, the naturalist decided to take decisive action. To attract the crocodile, they used a live goat, placing the animal in a sturdy metal cage, which was supposed to ensure the complete safety of the live bait. A camera was set up opposite the cage. During the night, due to a sudden downpour, the camera broke, and the next morning Patrice and his team discovered that the sturdy metal cage was damaged and the goat was gone. It seems that night was a feast for Gustave. The researchers, convinced that the reptile was simply teasing them, were forced to leave Burundi empty-handed. In the mid-2000s, rumors began to circulate about Gustave's demise. However, a National Geographic Channel expedition that visited the area in 2008 refuted the information about the death of the giant crocodile after it was discovered by its participants. While European naturalists are still drawn to the search for the man-eating crocodile, local residents categorically refused to organize any expeditions. Initially, enraged locals armed with firearms would set out to hunt down the crocodile to avenge their slain relatives. And then Gustave's thick hide would come to his aid, bullets fired point-blank bouncing off him. Eyewitnesses who occasionally spot Gustave claim that the crocodile's back is covered in numerous scars and healed wounds inflicted by bullets. Every such hunt ended tragically for one of the hunters. Gustave, seemingly aware that people had come to capture him, would behave extremely cautiously, remaining in the water and swiftly attacking his victims at the water's edge. Since then, local residents, having tried to kill the crocodile with both cold weapons and rifles and even explosives, have stopped pursuing him, essentially considering him a deity. Rumors circulate that in some African settlements, human sacrifices are offered to Gustave, which are then left on the shore of the water body to appease the crocodile and divert his wrath from the village for a while. And there is reason to be afraid. Africans claim that Gustave often kills just for the sake of killing, leaving the bodies of people on the shore without even using them as food. According to unofficial information, Gustave has killed over 1,000 people in his lifetime. It's no wonder that there are constantly new victims. Local residents facing a shortage of drinking water are forced to go to the shores of Tanganyika, where the Burundi devil lies in wait for them. At times, Gustave had to disappear for extended periods to avoid falling into the hunter's traps, and it's during these times that all residents near the Ruzizi River, Lake Tanganyika, as well as neighboring states to Burundi, become very fearful. Crocodiles can go without food for several months so they can afford to carefully choose their prey. Perhaps decades of turbulent life have taught Gustave to be more cautious when hunting and to be content with what is necessary, despite his fearsome reputation in the African world. Interestingly, even among hippos, he earned respect, typically not avoiding crocodiles and living with them in neutral proximity. When Gustave approached, these animals preferred to move to a safe distance. The last time Gustave was spotted was in 2016 in his usual habitat. According to some reports, he moved downstream, relocating to quieter places or migrating due to flooding. In 2019, news came again that Gustave had died, but there was no confirmation of this information. And there are no photographs either. This means that it's quite possible that somewhere in Africa, thousands of kilometers from the places where animals of his kind were revered as gods, Gustave continues his terrifying activities which not everyone would want to verify.